The Selfish Giant. There was once a garden that belonged to a giant. Taking advantage that the giant had gone to spend a season with his friend the ogre, the children were going to play in the garden. But one day the giant returned and discovered them. "What are you doing in my garden?" cried the giant, enraged. "I returned to my castle to have some peace and quiet. I do not want to hear scrambling kids around me. Get out of my garden. And do not you ever come back." The children, frightened, fled as fast as they could while they heard the giant shout in a thunderous voice, "This garden is mine and no one else's. I'll make sure no one else uses it." The giant raised a wall and put a fence to prevent the children from returning there. Every day the children looked between the bars at the garden and then left sad to find another place to play. Winter passed. When spring returned, the whole region was filled with birds and flowers. However, in the garden of the giant still remained the winter. The birds did not sing and the trees forgot to bloom. "Spring has not wanted to come to my garden," the giant mourned over and over again. One morning when the giant had stayed in bed with pure sadness, a bird's song was heard in the garden. The giant came to the window and was filled with joy. The snow and frost were gone and all the trees, which were full of flowers, had some nest in its branches. The children, who had slipped through a hole in the wall, had climbed into the branches of the trees and played quietly there. Only a child who had not managed to climb a tree wept bitterly because it was too small and did not even reach the lowest branch of the smallest tree. The giant felt compassion for the child and came down to help him. "As I went down the stairs I thought, how selfish I have been. Now I understand why spring did not want to come to my garden. I'll knock down the wall and let the kids come and play and enjoy it." When the children saw the giant arrive, they were frightened and they ran where they had come as winter returned to the garden. There was only the little one, who had not heard the giant crying. The giant took the child in his arms and told him sweetly as he placed it on a branch of a nearby tree, "Do not cry." The tree was immediately filled with flowers. Then the boy hugged the giant and kissed him. When the other children found out that the giant had become good, they ran back into the garden and the spring returned with them. Time passed and the giant never saw the child he had helped. "Where's your little friend?" asked the giant every day. But the children did not know. The giant was very sad, because he had grown fond of the boy. Just watching the children play and sharing with them their games had made him happy. Over the years the giant grew old, so much so that there came a time when he could no longer play with the children. The giant selfish winter morning, as the giant looked out the window of his bedroom, discovered a beautiful tree in a corner of the garden. The golden branches were covered with delicate white flowers and silver fruits. To the surprise of the giant, under the tree was the little one. "He's finally back!" exclaimed the giant. Very happy, the giant went to where the child was. But when he got to him, he was angry. "Who hurt you? You have nails on your hands and feet. No matter how old and weak I am, I'll kill whoever did this to you." Then the child smiled sweetly and said, "Calm. Do not get angry and come with me." "Who you are?" whispered the giant, falling on his knees at his feet. "You let me play in your garden a long time ago," said the boy. "Now I want you to come and play with me, which is paradise." That afternoon, when the children entered the garden to play with the snow, they found the giant dead under the tree. He seemed to sleep soundly and was covered with white flowers.